All right, guys, going to do a quick one here, video of your practice test. As usual, here we go. The first one says find a positive and negative angle coterminal to 5 pi over 3. Remember, when you say coterminal, you need to think either you're adding 360 or subtracting 360, or in this case, because of radians, we're adding 2 pi and subtracting 2 pi. Okay, so that's how we're going to roll here. Don't forget how we do that. You take the 2 times 3, which is 6, add the 5. That's 11 pi over 3. That's the positive one. Negative one, do negative 2 times the 3. That's negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1 pi over 3. And there's number 1. Number 2, convert 140 to the radians. When you convert to radians, we're just going to divide that angle by 180. If you do that, you get 7. If you punch it in your calculator, you get 7/9. Don't forget to put the pi back with it. 7 pi over 9. Number 3, convert this to degrees. Don't forget pi is doing the same thing as 180 degrees. So I'm going to put 180 where the pi was. Punch that in my calculator. 4 times 180 divided by 3 be 240 degrees. That's all I could do there. And number 4 is exactly like what we did for number 2. It's just, I'm not sure why I put 2 of them on here, but there are. So convert 240 to radians. Same deal. Divide by 180. Punch it in your calculator. Reduce it. You should see negative 4. I don't know why I put negative. Negative 4 pi over, that's a pi, over 3 radians. Number 5. In a circle with 140 centimeter radius, an arc subtends 180 from an angle of how many radians? Remember, the formula for radians is theta equals s over r, where s is arc length. In this case, the arc is 180. R is radius. In this case, is 140. Divide that right there, and you get 9 over 7, which is 1. I'll be honest, I don't have my calculator with me. So punch 9 over 7 in your calculator. Whatever you get is what you get. That's it. Number 6, the number pi over 4 determines that point. Pi over 4, that's the point that goes with pi over 4. What coordinates are determined by negative pi over 4? Okay, so negative pi over 4, first of all, positive pi over 4 is in the first quadrant. That's why they're both positive. Negative pi over 4 is in the fourth quadrant, which means the x is positive and the y is negative. So there's number 6. Number 7, sine pi over 3. Sine pi over 3, just got to know this. Square 3 over 2. Cosecant 3 pi over 4. I don't do cosecant, I do sine, and I also drop the top. So I'm taking sine pi over 4, which is square root of 2 over 2. The reciprocal, because it's cosecant, is just square root of 2. And 3/4 pi, or 3 pi over 4, that's in quadrant 2. Sine is positive there, so I'm good. Number 9, cosine 7 pi over 6. Cosine of any pi over 6, forget the 7. Cosine of pi over 6 is square root of 3 over 2. Because it is 7, though, that means it's in quadrant 3. 7 is like 1 and 1/6 pi. Quadrant 3, cosine is negative. Number 10, I'm really doing sine pi over 3. I'm not worrying about the 2. I'm just doing pi over 3. Everybody knows sine pi over 3 is square root of 3 over 2. Now think 2 again. 2/3 pi. It's in quadrant 2. Sine is positive. I'm donezo. Tangent 5 pi over 3. Because there's only one 3 in the denominator, the answer is square root of 3 for the tangent. Figure out the quadrant. 5 over 3 is really 1 and 2/3. If you go 1 and 2/3, that is quadrant 4. And because their sides are different, quadrant 4, tangent's negative in quadrant 4. All right, number 12. I'm not going to be able to do this because I don't have my calculator at home, but you're just going to punch in. First of all, make sure you're in radian mode. Go to your mode button. Make sure you're in radians. Just punch exactly what you see. Negative 7 pi divided by 24. Hit enter. I wish I could remember what we got for that one today in class, but I can't. So just punch that in. Should be fine. 13. My advice here is multiply everything by the LCD, because that makes your fractions all disappear. So multiply every single term by 24. What happens is they cancel. 4 goes into 24 6 times. Multiply that times the top. That'd be negative 3x. 24, 8 goes into 24 3 times. Multiply that times the top. Negative 15. 3 goes into 24 8 times. Multiply that times the top, which is 16x. I forgot this first one. So sorry about that. That was negative 18. I forgot the 6 times 3 is 18. Sorry about that. I'm going to move the 16x over, which is negative 34x now. It's greater than negative 15. Divide by the 34. Sorry, it's negative 34, which flips the sign and also makes it positive over here. And there you have it. Let's go to the second page. There's my thankful thing. Here we go, second page. This is square, multiply double square. If you square the square root of 5, you get 5. If you multiply these together, you get square root of 15. Actually, negative square root of 15. And if you double it, you multiply by 2. Then if you square a square root, first of all, it becomes positive, and the square root goes away. And then you just add the 5 and 3, make it 8, minus 2, 115, and you have it. 15 says, given that function f is this and function g is this, find f minus g of 2. The quick way to do this is to plug 2 into both functions. Okay, so if I plug 2 in the first function, it gives me 2 squared, which is 4 minus 2, which is 2. And if I plug it in the second function, 3 times 2 is 6, 6 plus 1 is 7. And it says f minus g, so I'm going to do f minus g, 2 minus 7, negative 5. There you go. Number 16, I wish you could see me doing the gestures right now, but you can't. It says write the equation of the function in the shape of that parabola. It's reflected across the x-axis. Let's start there. It's reflected across the x. That's negative. Has a vertical stretch of 3. That means there's a 3 in the front. And it's shifted right 4. Right? The 4 must be inside, and it's the opposite of what you think. So right would be x minus 4. Don't forget the square. 17, one that worries me about the most. Inverse, remember take the x and y's and switch them. So I can put the x over here and the y over here. It'll be 2 y's actually. Your job is to get the y by itself now as a fraction bar. Anytime you want to get rid of the fraction bar, cross multiply. So I'm going to get xy plus 5x equals y minus 2. 2 things you got to do here, okay, which is the key. First thing, I need to get the y's together. So I'm taking the y over there, and at the same time I'm bringing the 5x to the right-hand side. So if I bring the y over, it becomes minus y. Take the 5x over, it becomes negative 5x, just like that. Here's the key. I'm going to come back up here a little bit so I won't get into numbers 18's way. Because I have 2 y's and I want it down to 1 y, I'm actually going to take out the y. I'm going to factor it out. If I factor it out, it leaves me x minus 1 where that was. And over here, I still got the negative 5x minus 2. One more step and we're there. That says y times x minus 1. The opposite of times is divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by the x minus 1. On this side, obviously, would just cancel. And that would get the y by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and just change the y to the f negative 1 because that's the symbol for inverse. All right, we're rolling. Last one. Given that the cosine is 7/25, find the other 5. One thing I know already, I know secant 25/7 because it's reciprocal of cosine. And I'm going to also know that cosine is really x over r. That cosine is really x, and that's r. So I'm going to say r equals, or 25 equals, the square root of x squared plus y squared. Well, x squared, x is 7. So if I do 7 squared, it's 49 plus y squared. So I'm going to square both sides. It gives me 625. Over here gives me 49 plus y squared. Move the 49 over. That's 576. Take the square root. Technically, I would get plus or minus 24. This problem does not mention a quadrant. And if one doesn't mention a quadrant, we're going to assume it's just a triangle. So I'm going to just go with the positive one. So I'm going back here to the problem. Sine is y over r. So sine is 24. Remember, r we already know is 25 from right there. Cosecant, I'm just going to flip that one. Tangent is y over x. Y was 24, x was 7, so that's 24 over 7. And cotangent is reciprocal of tangent. 7, oops, messed up that one. 7/24. All right, that's it, guys. Watch as much as you need to. That wasn't too bad. I think you got a great chance to do really well tomorrow, even though it's a lot of trig. I don't think it's as bad as you think it was going to be. So can't wait to see you tomorrow. Study hard. See you, bye.